I'm a registered psychotherapist, and today I would like to discuss about intrusive thoughts and how repetitive negative thoughts are influencing our behavior, and what are some strategies that you can use and questions you can ask in order to understand these patterns and to change your behavior and to respond to these thoughts in a manner that would help you to achieve your goals in the long run. Most of us have some intrusive thoughts and repetitive thoughts, such as what if something bad would happen, and what if I left something on the stove, what if I forgot to lock the keys. And notice how you are responding to these thoughts. What are you doing when you have these thoughts? Are you washing your hands? Are you trying to control the outcomes? And how these behaviors are serving you in the long run. Are they helping you to achieve your goals and the version of you that you want to achieve, or are they keeping you away? And are you trying to avoid certain things, certain feelings, and how this behavior is serving you in the long run? And once you notice these patterns, it will be easier for you to understand what kind of outcome you would like to achieve. For instance, how you would like to respond to these thoughts, and what you would like to do instead. If you were not washing your hands each time when you have a thought that you might be infected by certain bacteria, how you would like to respond instead. What kind of change you would like to see in yourself. For instance, what are you doing generally when you have a thought that something bad might happen? Are you trying to avoid the feelings that are come with this thought? Are you sleeping? Are you distracting yourself? Are you how this impacts your relationships, and how this impacts your career, your work? And once you notice these patterns, it will be easier for you to understand what kind of change you would like to see, and how you would like to change yourself, what you would like to do instead, and what kind of changes you would like to see in certain areas of your life, such as relationships, career, your studies, the way you respond to feelings, to thoughts. And when you can become aware of it, you can make a certain plan. For example, when I have this thought that something bad might happen, what I'm generally doing. Am I sleeping? Am I distracting myself? And what I can do instead. So once you notice these thoughts and feelings, and once you approach yourself with compassion, with curiosity, it will be easier to decide for yourself how you can respond and what you can do differently. So why we have these feelings and thoughts, repetitive thoughts? It's generally because something has happened in the past, something negative maybe that has influenced us deeply, and right now our brain is trying to protect us from possible threat and to keep us safe, and that's why we are having these thoughts. And they're just trying to carry some information about what you value, what you care about. And that's why we are having these feelings and these thoughts. But generally these thoughts are related with the past, or we are worried about the future, but as a result we miss the present moment, and it can be difficult for you to focus on your work, to stay concentrated, to be present in your relationships. But once you will learn to notice these thoughts and to question about their reality and about their influence in the long run, it will be easier to shift your attention towards what matters. For instance, if you have some repetitive thoughts, at that point when you notice that this thought is here again, you have the choice to respond to it differently. For instance, at that point you can try to ask yourself, what's the most important thing for you to do right now? Which goal do you want to achieve? What are you trying to achieve right now? And what's the smallest step that you can take at this point to approach this best version of you, or the version of you you are trying to achieve? And for instance, if you find some repetitive thoughts while you are at work, such as what if something bad will happen to people whom I care, you can take deep breaths, notice the feeling, understand which feeling you have at that moment. Ask yourself why you might have this feeling. Maybe it's related with the past because you had some negative experiences in the past, and right now your brain is trying to protect you from possible threats or negative outcomes. But the function of our brains is to keep us safe, to keep us safe as much as possible, and the function of the brain doesn't include us to be happy. And once you notice that this feeling, this memory, or this thought is related with the past, you can choose to focus on the present moment and ask yourself, what's the smallest step I can take in order to focus on my work, on my career, on my relationship, or if at that moment you were interacting with someone, trying to speak to someone, and if you catch that your mind is wandering and you are following these negative thoughts, you can shift your attention to the present moment and try to notice what are some colors, shapes, what's around you, who is around you, and if there is a person with whom you were communicating at that moment, you can simply tell that you missed the point and can you please repeat it, or ask a certain question that can help you to understand what you have missed, so that you will be able to be present with that person and we connected. And also sometimes being honest with the person and simply saying, I'm sorry, I couldn't understand what you said, can you please repeat it, can also help to stay connected. But if you will be blaming yourself that why my mind is wandering, why I can't stay focused, or if you will be criticizing, this will cause even further rumination, and you will even miss the conversation more, or it can create more anxiety about what you have missed that you will not be able to understand. Or if this is happening while you are having a speech in public, or if you are trying to study, again, pulling yourself back into the present moment and trying to respond to these thoughts differently, like becoming aware that these thoughts are automatic and not being followed with these thoughts can, in a long run, can help you to change your behavior and to achieve behavioral alterations. For instance, if you constantly have thoughts that you might be ill, or you might catch some bacteria, or there can be another pandemic, each time when you are having these thoughts, what are you doing? If you are washing your hands, or if you are using some antibacterial things, what you can do instead. So once you start to respond to these thoughts differently, for example, if you were constantly washing your hands, try to force yourself just to stay with these thoughts and feelings at that moment. And as often as you would do this, your brain will slowly learn that there is nothing to feel scared about this moment, that this is normal, that sometimes you don't have to wash your hands, or you don't have to do these rituals all the time. And by time you will, in your brain, there would be new neural paths forming, new cells forming, that would help you to stay more patient towards situations which cause anxiety, which cause stressful feelings, and by time you will learn to respond to these thoughts and feelings differently, and it will be easier for you to achieve the outcomes that you are trying to achieve. Yusuf, ben kayıt yapıyorum ya. Orada bir şey yok, ne arıyor? Hı. Hiç. Hadi az kaldı, ben bitireceğim şimdi. Hayır, hayır, buraya gel. Ses yapma, tamam mı? So if you believe that you are a failure, if you don't notice that this is a thought, by time you will stop taking risks or stop trying something new, because you already think that you are a failure and nothing's gonna change, and this would in the long run impact your productivity, your success at work, and maybe you will be avoiding people, crowds, because you believe you are a failure. And at a point where you notice that this is just a thought, you will have a kind of freedom, and you can respond to the thought differently. if you are aware that this is just a thought and it doesn't have to be your identity, it will create a kind of freedom, and you can try doing new things. Even if you cannot control the thought, if you cannot delete the thought, you can learn to respond to the thought differently. Therefore, instead of seeing everything, every thought that we have as certain, as illiterate truth and reality, questioning whether this is reality, and accepting the thought just as thoughts, and letting them to come and go, and accepting them, and not being influenced with these thoughts, can help you to create a sense of freedom in your behavior, and to try new things, to learn new things, to stay curious about yourself and about the world, and it will be easier for you to achieve the outcomes and goals that you are trying to achieve, instead of being fused and staying stuck in thought patterns, in feelings that you might have. And one of the last strategies that you can use whenever you notice that you are having these repetitive thoughts again is that asking yourself, what would my best friend tell me in this situation if they notice that I'm having these thoughts and I'm repeating this behavior, or what would my younger version would suggest me at this situation. Or you can simply imagine that you are stepping back and observing yourself, which thoughts you have at that moment. Imagine you have a thought, what if something bad happens, and then what are you doing? Are you trying to call people, or what this feeling and thought is trying to tell you? It will be easier for you to notice that this thought is related with something you have experienced in the past, and it doesn't have to be related to the reality. Or it will be easier for you to diffuse and to create distance between your thoughts and yourself, and to notice that you are just the one who is observing what's happening in your internal world. It will be easier for you to understand which feelings, which thoughts you have, and this would create a sense of freedom for you to respond to these thoughts and feelings in a more flexible manner, and to achieve the change that you are willing to achieve. I hope this speech was useful for you, and if you have more further questions related with intrusive thoughts, with obsessive compulsive disorder or anxiety, you are always welcome to email me, or if you would like more detailed intensive support, you are always welcome for psychotherapy, the group psychotherapies.